In studio, weather delayed Tyshawn Taylor's return to KU, so later tonight, Josh Selby will make his first start as a member of the Kansas Jayhawks up against UT Arlington. But Rob, right now, I simply want more Plumlee.
We'll do what we can, Lowell. We'll do what we can. We aim to please. We'll put in a word for you. And now Miles Plumlee just back to back to back to back. Authoritative dunks. Duke now with their biggest lead at 34. We take a head-to-head number look at Dean Smith and Mike Krzyzewski. The numbers startling. 22 combined Final Four appearances and 6 NCAA titles between the two.
And I think it's so unfair that a lot of people in the Triangle area, North Carolina, or around the country try to compare these two men. They are both titans in their own time. They are both legends. They both were able to accomplish feats that no other man besides Bobby Knight in college basketball has been able to accomplish. And excuse me, John Wooden as well.
You made a good point. In their time, these two coaches really did coach in different segments of history. Basketball has changed so much from when Coach Smith was running things to where Coach K is doing it right now.
And they both have very similar paths. They both really struggled with their starts. Remember, Coach Dean Smith took over the role for Frank McGuire back in 1965. Had a tough couple of years. Coach K really struggled his first 2 years with some losing seasons. Even in 82-83, that season that was really a huge season for him recruiting-wise, was able to get Jay Billis, Johnny Dawkins, Coach Henderson. He had a lot of big-time players come in, and they still finished 11-17. But Tom Butters, the athletic director at that time, stuck with Coach K. And we were talking about this during a couple of our games before. That can you imagine this year for these coaches now in this time of basketball, if you were 11-17 one year or 9-17 the next, would you even get a chance to stick around to make an impact at your program after 2 years of being down?
Not to mention being hired at a quote-unquote upgrade basketball institution. Of course, Duke was not Duke as we know it now when Coach K took over. He made this institution basketball speaking wise. Nolan Smith working the point. Trying to come off the Ryan Kelly screen. There's Kelly. Curry. Got it.
What a great crossover dribble by Nolan Smith. Taking that extra dribble just forced the UNCG player to come over and help a little bit in a quick ball reversal. Seth Curry waiting in the corner with his hands ready to knock it down. He's such a huge player for this team. I said in the first half, he's gonna need to be more of a John Shire-like player. Put opposing guards on his hip, get the ball into a good position to get Duke into their offensive sets in the half court. But just needs to be smart with the basketball and make the right plays.
The lead at 39. Make it 41. Timeout, UNCG. Biggest lead of the game for the Blue Devils.
And transition defense was something that Coach DeMint talked about was going to be huge for his team. You missed a shot at the end, and there's nobody back on defense, and that's going to be a step in the maturation process that UNCG is going to need to make. Every time there's a shot going up, a guard needs to be back on the defensive end.
Speaking of defensive end, let's talk some football. You like that segue?
Good segue, nice.
I tried. Capital One Bowl Week continues New Year's Day right here on ESPNU. The first time ESPNU has ever aired a bowl game, and you can kick off your New Year's with us, the Northwestern Wildcats, trying to win their first bowl game since 1949 as they take on the Texas Tech Red Raiders from the inaugural Ticket City Bowl, coming away from the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas. Dave Pasch, Chris Spielman, Bob Greasy with the call on that one, noon Eastern on New Year's Day.
Any plans for New Year's Eve?
You know what? I need to go into scramble mode stat. Do you know what New Year's Eve is?
What?
The missus's birthday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, a lot of preparation going into that one, huh?
Yeah, I've purchased the gifts, but some of the other things need to be taken care of.
Well, while you're at home with the wife, I'll be in the studio watching tape, getting after it, getting ready for the new year.
Like that attitude. That's what you get for running that tape room with Coach K, right? Plumlee with the rebounds. 25 rebounds for Duke tonight. Another three-pointer, and another one from Mr. Curry.
And if you're Parker for UNCG, you cannot cut the corners on a down screen. You have to be attached to Seth Curry's hip and chase him around every screen. If you disattach yourself, Seth Curry, one of the best in the country at creating space off screens. High basketball IQ, understood that. Gave a quick fade and knocked down the J.
Curry now with back-to-back double-figure scoring games. This is second consecutive start for the Duke Blue Devils.
He doesn't have the same explosion as his brother, but still, same basketball IQ and can always find a way to get his shot off.
If there's a weakness in this Duke team, where do you see it? Dawkins misses the jam. Fouls going up.
I think if there's one weakness, and it's something that we had the privilege of having my sophomore year, as you're going to see Andre Dawkins trying to be really aggressive in attacking the rim.
Trying to pull a Plumlee.
Yeah. Having that consistent low post threat. You know, the most challenging thing about the NCAA tournament is that you have to win 6 games in a row. And Duke sometimes is a team, and I say it all the time, that gets fixated on the outside jump shot. Well, sometimes if you're playing a dome, you might not be able to knock down that J as consistently as you're used to. Who is going to be the main low post threat that you can slow the game down in a half-court setting and give the ball to and let them give you 20 and 10 down on the block? They're still waiting for Mason Plumlee to emerge as that force.
Smith and Singler with 53 points combined, which is matching UNCG's output this evening. This will stay with the Spartans. So Smith with 26. Singler now leading all with 27. Their output alone matching that of the Spartans with 419. Make it 4:06 left. And this one from Greensboro, the host venue of the 2011 Men's ACC Basketball Tournament.
Well, that being one of the most dynamic duos in college basketball, so difficult to guard. Both players shooting over 40% from the three-point range, and they have high basketball IQ, and they run a ton of screen and roll. So if you're not blitzing or trapping and then having rotating help for Kyle Singler, he'll put a dagger in your back every single time. And if you lay off Nolan Smith, he can shoot. If you pressure him, they both have the ability to put the ball on the ground and attack the rim.
Fourth foul on Henry, who heads to the bench with 7 points. He hasn't been much of a factor. Thornton going up strong, fending off a defender, and he'll go to the free throw line when we return. And when we do come back, Coach Dean Smith just in on Coach K.
Phone bill, always a hot button issue in this house.
But recently, I found a cool new technology that totally replaces our phone company and could save us hundreds of dollars a year. This is Ooma, the new internet phone service that lets you make local and long-distance calls anywhere in the U.S. for free.
Free.
Free! There's no hidden charges. We just pay for standard taxes and fees. And with Ooma, we get voicemail, call waiting, caller ID for free, and we get 911 service.
Now, you and your family can start saving hundreds of dollars per year with Ooma. It's simple. Just purchase the Ooma Telo device, connect it to your high-speed internet, then to your existing home phone. Now, U.S. local and long-distance calls are free, and international calls are just pennies per minute. And experience sound quality at its best with Ooma's Pure Voice technology, which no other phone company offers.
You did good, honey.
The Ooma Telo is available at these fine retailers or visit ooma.com. That's OOMA.com.
Duke led by 21 at the break. They have lengthened it to a 46-point advantage. And this just coming into us, Dean Smith on Coach K's soon-to-be historic 880th win. I congratulate Mike on this milestone victory. I am sure he would want to share the credit for the wins with all his players and staff. I enjoyed competing against Mike's teams throughout the many years I was at UNC. I wish him continued health and personal success. The kind of quote one would expect and anticipate from somebody of Coach Smith's stature. And that would also probably be a quote that Coach K would send to another type of coach. Two very high-class individuals.
Well, neither has been more relentless in their effort for excellence. They both strive for that every time they step foot across that line on the court. And the great thing about both those guys is coaching doesn't only happen on the court. I mean, they live, they breathe, they eat coaching nonstop. Every day, Coach K is thinking about how to make his team better. Even when he's at home, I'm sure with Mickey, he's talking about the team and the guys. He has 3 beautiful daughters, and Lindy and Jamie and Debbie and all these players right here. These are his sons. This is his family. So he's always thinking about his family and ways to make them better.
I noticed you gave a shout out to all 3 of Mickey and Mike's daughters. A wise move. You don't mess with the Krzyzewski family. They're a tight brew. It's like the Paterno family up there in State College. You try and take a swing at Dad or my hubby, watch out. Stand by your man. I can't wait for the next text to come from a Krzyzewski female onto your phone.
Unbelievable. You can't be nonchalant with anything.
No, I'm not real subtle. It's not one of my strengths, my friend. Duke now over the century mark. No UNC field goal since the 9:34 mark of the second half. This will be the 7th game this season that Duke has won by 30 or more points. They came into the game averaging 89 per contest, 3rd most in the nation. Curry, outlet. Dawkins. Yes, sir.
Andre Dawkins has impressed me more and more each time I watch him play this year. He is scaringly athletic, smart, has a great jump shot. I think he's going to be a bona fide pro. Last year, very quiet, very reserved. This year, communicating a lot more, showing a lot more aggressiveness when attacking the rim.
Does it remind you of any players?
Let me think about that one for a while. But he does have a very smooth jump shot. It probably has the best jump shot with the exception of Seth Curry on the team.
Down low, Plumlee in and out. Couldn't hold on to the putback, slapped that away. It'll stay with Duke.
And it's funny, if you just heard a whole lot of boos, it's because a fan ran around the gymnasium with the UNC flag. So I guess the Duke is showing their non-appreciation for the Tar Heels.
Well, it's funny. you talk about that, and we talk about Cameron and how difficult of a ticket it is. This is a wonderful opportunity for Duke fans throughout the great state of North Carolina to come see their team play. And to see what UNCG hopes to be a burgeoning basketball program as well. They are getting blown out of the building right now, down by 50 points. But they're still fun to watch, particularly that young man. Corey Van Dusen, a 6'2" sophomore guard from Zeeland, Michigan. 5 of 7 from the floor, 13 points.
The thing I love about Corey is that he's a gym rat. You know, he's a young man that will stay in the gym. He will get up 200 to 300 shots every day after practice, and he wants to be better. And a lot of kids talk the talk, but they're not willing to walk the walk. Corey Van Dusen is a kid that puts in the time and the effort to become a better basketball player. And playing with that energy and that passion, it shows.
Fall away doesn't go. Rebound by Duke as they break out. Curry, stop, and drop. Under 2 minutes to go as Mike Krzyzewski that much closer to career win number 880. Foul on the floor, and take this quick break in the action to relay a story that you and I heard today. Mike Dement, the head coach at UNCG in his 10th season here. He was actually a coach on Coach K's staff in the 82-83 season. At the time, it was called a volunteer coach. Wasn't allowed to travel with the team on away games. So Duke had a game in Atlanta versus Georgia Tech. Back then, the old Piedmont Airlines was running an ad in the paper. Buy one ticket and a Polaroid camera, get a second ticket for free.
And we're not talking about the small Polaroid
No, we're
cameras,
talking,
right? The really old
Shake it
school
like a
big ones.
Polaroid camera, right? So Mike talked to him, got one of the other coaches to pick up a ticket. He swiped the free ticket, showed up at the team hotel in Atlanta. In the lobby, there's Coach K looking at him, little smile on his face. And you know what? One of those moments where you knew Coach K had earned that much more respect for Coach Ament. And he was telling us earlier today how much Coach K has meant to him in his career, the counseling, the advice he has passed on through the years. And one of the points we were talking about, you know, Dean Smith and Mike Krzyzewski, these are the kind of coaches who make lasting impact with just about everybody they come across. Nice down low lob to Plumlee.
And I think it was that kind of work ethic that really got Coach Mike Dement in the door. He found his way onto the assistant coaching staff for Duke by just working camps around the area in North Carolina. And when you think about some of the Titans that were head coaches back during that time, you had Jim Valvano at NC State, you had Dean Smith in North Carolina, you had Dave Odom, who coached at ECU, but then eventually went on to coach at Wake Forest. So he just walked around from door to door and worked as assistant coaches during their camps and created a good synergy with all these coaches and found his way to really get on the coaching staff. And that's how young coaches get started in this industry.
Reverse layup doesn't fall. Outlet, a little too strong for Dawkins. Mike Krzyzewski, 67 seconds away from career win number 880.
And like I said before, I think the key for Duke to get back to winning a national championship is Mason Plumlee. Kyrie Irving did such a great job of delivering the ball to him on a golden platter. Mason Plumlee needs to find different ways to score. Over the last 3 games, he's only averaged 2 points and managed to get 4 offensive rebounds. 2 of those offensive rebounds coming off 2 of his misses. He needs to develop a passion and a determination to hunt the basketball and find ways to put the ball in the bucket.
Coach K 30 seconds away from history. And after this win is fully digested, the conversation will turn to another ACC crown, another NCAA title, and the pursuit of Bob Knight and his 902 career victories.
You want to know the thing that would be the most impressive about him getting 880 is that after the game, he won't jump up, he won't celebrate. He'll walk straight to Coach Mike Dement in a classy way and shake his hand. And that's the kind of respect that you want from a legendary coach. It shows you the class that coaches like Bobby Knight, coaches like John Wooden, Dean Smith, and Coach K all have. It's not about them, it's about the school, the kids, and the program.
Duke set to go to 12-0 on the campaign. This will be their 22nd consecutive victory. And Mike Krzyzewski, career win number 880. Pause on the court as UNCG hit a bucket with 0.9 left to go in this one. So the celebration is briefly delayed.
Could it get any better? Great names for Dean Smith, John Wooden, Bobby Knight. Welcome to the mix, and Coach Mike Krzyzewski.
History for Coach K. He is now the 2nd winningest NCAA men's Division I basketball coach with 880 career wins across his career from West Point to Durham.
Thank you for supporting the Sportsman Acquisition Benches March Back in Action Thursday, January 6th.
So Dean Smith drops to number 3. And Bob Knight is the only man in front of Mike Krzyzewski who is receiving a thunderous ovation right now on the court.
Like I said, his biggest accomplishment Won't be winning games, but the impact he will be able to make for all the young players in his career. Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you very much.
Mike Krzyzewski joining us now on the side of our less than spacious set over here.
Looks like Cameron Indoor Stadium.
You feel right at home, Coach K. First off, congratulations, and we've been talking the past 2.5 hours that yes, this is a historic moment, but this is not just about you, it's about the Duke basketball family.
Well, you know, what an amazing crowd. I want to first of all thank the fans. This is so unexpected for, you know, to have the place filled, and I think what they're saying is thanks for guys like Jason and Wojo and Chris Collins and Nate and Sewell and all the guys that won games. You know, coaches are lucky guys if they have players like that, and I've been really lucky to be at Duke.
Coach Dean Smith, who you just passed tonight, passed along a quote to us through the course of the broadcast. Here it is. This is your first time taking a look at it. I congratulate Mike on the milestone victory. I'm sure he would want to share the credit for the wins with all his players and staff, which, check mark, you've done that. I enjoyed competing against Mike's teams throughout the many years I was at UNC. I wish him continued health and personal success. Coach, what's your message?
Well, you know, it's who Dean Smith is and was, and set the standard for coaches, you know, not just in this conference but in the country. And he was always about his players, his family, and North Carolina. And that's one of the areas we've tried to emulate him. And in that it's about our players, our family, and Duke. And that's why we have such two-storied programs 8 miles apart. And how lucky are we in this area of the country to have 2 programs like that?
No kidding.
Coach, talk a little bit about your players and about how much they had attention to detail tonight and really played hard for you.
You know, well, you were at the shoot-around today, and, you know, we didn't talk about this. We talked about us. And I thought their concentration was outstanding because UNC Greensboro, we have more talent and more experience, but they played really hard, and I thought we played hard for 40 minutes, and I would think that they wanted to do that for a few reasons, and one of them just being an historic night, and that's kind of neat when the kids do that.
Coach, this victory will be digested further down the road for you. We certainly understand that, but just your initial thoughts on what 880 means to you.
Well, 880 means I've been at 2 great places: West Point, the United States Military Academy, and Duke University. And I've had great guys to coach. I mean, it started in Duke with that class of '86 with Billis, Allery, Dawkins, and Henderson, and Amaker came the next year. And what we've tried to do is model every one of our recruits after that from those guys. The same type of character. Obviously, are a little bit different players. Although Jason and Johnny were a lot alike. They're both National Players of the Year. I won't give Billis credit for anything. We just tried to recruit his character. Try to get more athletic big men than him. But I hope he's feeling well. And but we've had good guys. We've had a lot of fun, and it's been a real family experience. And I would be remiss without saying something about my family. You know, my daughter Debbie's at home, and so is Lindy, but Jamie and Mickey are here, and you know, we've been what we called in our own family the starting 5. I play with 4 women, and I get them the ball and keep my mouth shut.
Smart guy.
I keep my mouth shut, but they feel like it's theirs too, and I think any guy who played or coached with us feels like it's their program, and it is. And that's where Dean Smith, it's the same thing. If you would ask a North Carolina player, they feel it's theirs, and that's what Dean did. I mean, Dean is one of a kind, and when I say that, I mean at the highest level. And it was really nice of him to say those things, and I appreciate that. Just we're good friends, and over the years, there's nobody who knows you as well as a guy who competes against you for a long time. And I think he knows me well, and I know him well, and that's why we respect one another, because there are a lot of We even got big noses. So maybe there's something in that. Maybe there's something in that. But anyway, it's a great night. Now we got to get ready for the ACC.
Coach, last question. Bobby Knight is next with 902. How much of an impact has he made in your coaching career, and how much would it mean once you're able to surpass that?
Well, Coach Knight, if he was still at Indiana, which he should be, he would have 11 or 1,200 wins. I don't think there's anybody who would have won more games. He has won more games than anybody, but he would have won a lot more and more championships. And I've learned everything from Coach Knight. He's been my coach, my friend, my mentor, and for me to have to play for him at the United States Military Academy, to learn what the academy has to give while you're learning what Coach Knight had to give. I thank my mom and dad for making me go, because that's the basis of everything that I've done, is based on the academy and based on what Coach Knight taught me.
Coach K, congratulations.
All right, thanks, you guys.
Wonderful. Thank you.
And again, I want to thank the crowd for being here. It's an unbelievable crowd.
And what I love about this is your family is about 15 paces over there. They can't do anything without you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, continued success. Mike Krzyzewski, career win number 880.
The only thing I can really compare to this was when we had win number 600, and nothing brings a smile to your face more than when you can make your coach happy. And more importantly than to win 880 tonight, the fact that his kids came out and they executed, they played hard. That's what Duke basketball is to Coach K. You leave everything on the court. You play with passion, you play with energy, and you play with a sense of belief.
We saw in the pregame show that when Dean Smith passed that offer up, the highlight on the Sports Century piece on him that was voiced over by Chris Fowler, you saw Dean running right into the locker room. I don't want the attention. And Coach K, kind enough to come over here and give us some live comments, and then he makes his way to the locker room. Certainly many more people will be tracking him down for comments, but that's the kind of guy he is. Now here is the radio call, the voice of Duke basketball, Bob Harris, on Coach K getting win number 880.
9/10 of a second left, inbounded, and that is it. And Mike Krzyzewski is the Atlantic Coast Conference all-time winningest coach and the second winningest coach in NCAA history.
There, the final buzzer, which triggered the celebration, and win number, yes, we can update it, 880. He breaks a tie with North Carolina head coach Dean Smith. Next on his to-do list, get that ACC season underway.
And you want to know the statement that really struck me? The fact that after he gave all his thanks to Dean Smith and to his family and to his teammates, he said, it's okay. Next game. Now we're focused on our next opponent. He has a lot more to accomplish. That's the kind of dedication and passion that's brought him to this point, and that's the dedication and passion that will take him way above.
And you can tell the slight sense of relief that this moment is over, that the focus on him is just about to conclude, and he and his ball team can move on. So Duke, the #1 team in the land, improves to 12-0 overall. Mike Krzyzewski earning career victory number 880 with an emphatic win over UNC Greensboro. They take it 108-62. Coming up next, more college basketball. Texas Arlington versus #3 Kansas. For Jay Williams and our entire crew, I'm Rob Stone. This has been an exclusive presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Now, we send it to the studio.